Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hey everybody, the old captain here, and we're banging out our video requests for Asshole Consulting. So if you have a question, go to assholeconsulting.com. Why is it look all dark and spooky? Watching over the little not my child. That's it. It's the not my child. It's the one I'm not legally responsible for, but I can spoil anyway. Hello, Aaron. I'm a 26-year-old college student who is majoring in accounting, where I will eventually transfer to university and get my CPA. I also produce music on the side. I live in Ontario, a wealthy town. He lives in a suburb or a town of Ontario. A wealthy town on the Atlantic coast of Canada. On Monday, Canada voted in a Liberal majority government, completely sweeping the Conservatives out of Parliament. I live in Ontario, and we already have a Liberal Premier, and our province is in ton of debts, and the job outlook isn't so great. I'm afraid that the Liberals are going to send our country straight into hell, just like Obama for the States. We basically voted for a rich, young, charismatic, good-looking contest who wants to legalize marijuana and destroy everything that our conservative majority built over the last 10 years. Not to mention, he's just like George Bush Jr. He is the son of a former president, or premier, or what's it called? Prime Minister. I really think we are screwed, and my country is full of a bunch of idiots. Nobody had any reason to vote for Trudeau, except that they didn't want a conservative government. I feel like I'm surrounded by sheep, and it's hard to meet like-minded individuals. I feel like I'm surrounded by socialists and communists, whether they are aware of it or not. I'm worried about the future of this country, specifically when it comes to job outlook and raising a family, which I intend to do. What should I do? Okay, well, what you should do is read my 2 books, Enjoy the Decline, because it's a similar thing that we had happen here when Obama got elected a second time. I'll also read Bachelor Pad Economics, because there is some financial management advice in there that will help you strategically plan long-term for kind of any type of situation. But basically what it boils down to is you want to have a family. Well, boy, that's going to be tough. Because what I normally recommend you to do is be a minimalist, get your CPA, have this great skill, but don't work hard, don't make too much money, don't pay a lot of taxes. See what the new taxes coming in are under Trudeau and the socialists. Because it could, it's a long shot, it's not likely to happen, but it could be he doesn't raise taxes. You never know. It could be. I doubt it, but it could be. So wait to see what the taxes are and what the tax law is before you start making decisions. Find out what the rules of the game are first before you start making any concrete life choices. But I would still advocate you continue on getting your CPA, because it's a skill that you're going to need. It's a skill that's a great skill to have. And then going forward, scale the amount of work that you do. If you want to work part-time because the taxes are so high, it doesn't pay to work full-time, don't work full-time, work part-time. And the great thing about being a highly skilled CPA or any kind of highly skilled individual is that means you just have to work less. If you're a minimalist, you could get by 40 hours a week on some of the world's shittiest jobs, shittiest paying, I mean. But with a CPA, you can work 20 hours a week and probably live a reasonably comfortable lifestyle. Another thing I would do is get out of Ontario. See if you could go to Alberta, Saskatchewan. I'm not terribly familiar. I know there's nothing north in terms of like activity. I'm not familiar with Newfoundland or Prince Edward Island and what the politics are like there. But see if you could control your local environment. Like, you can't control what the idiots of the country voted in on a national level, but you could control who your family, friends, and neighbors are. And I had a post about controlling your microenvironment. You may want to look that up. The other thing that Canadians have that the United States government people do not have is that you can move to a lot of places that you don't, the Commonwealth. I think you can move to the Cayman Islands. So if push comes to shove, you want to make a lot of money, but you don't want to pay a lot of taxes, consider different countries that you can move to as a Canadian and not pay a lot of countries. Now, fair warning, the Cayman Islands are islands. Not a lot going on there. And this is the biggest problem I face, where it's like, yeah, there's these great small little no tax havens, but you'll do everything there's to do on that island within a couple days, and then you'll be yearning to get back to the mainland where there's other shit to do. But if you're going to have a family, oh, good Lord, you just, I know you want to have a family. Do this. Get yourself established first. See where the country's going before you do that. And then decide whether you really want to have a family or not. Really analyze and assess whether it's worth bringing kids into this world. Because it's not going to be good going forward. The demographics are going to be changing to where you have not European type people who created Western civilization, brought forth freedom, fought wars to end slavery, and basically to free man, being replaced by people who are just like, more government because I can't get past stage one thinking, even though they don't talk like that. But you're going to, and hey, let's not pick on immigrants and second and third world people. It's whitey too. It's your stupid fucking quote educated idiots, and they're whiter than all fucking swippily white fucks there ever was. Voting in Trudeau's white, and God Almighty, you look at a lot of these social justice warriors. That is predominantly a white hobby. So every group of person is out there that's going to ruin the future of Western civilization, Canada of which is being one. You could maybe move to the United States where it might be a little bit slower because we have a larger population in terms of that decline, but there's just no good solution. It's what you can control within your own control, you. So certainly get a good degree, certainly get that CPA, certainly maybe consider some other, side gig or side job or side skill. But then down the road, say, all right, is my labor going to be rewarded? And if it's not, then practice minimalism. If for some reason you get the conservatives come back and they cut taxes and balance the budget and things look good, cool, maybe you have a family. But you really got to constantly assess the environment that you're bringing your children into. The only other thing I can think of is moving towards greener pastures. And you may want to start looking into that now as a 26-year-old and start applying for citizenship elsewhere. My favorite places to look into, visit. Don't move just on my count. You're going to have to go visit these places. You're going to have to investigate them for yourself. Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, Norway if you could get into it, even though it's a socialist shithole, but they got a ton of fucking money with that oil money. Switzerland, that's a long shot. Monaco, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, those are even longer shots. I think you have to be royalty to fucking get into those things. Caymans, they're islands. And otherwise, yeah, just it's either fight or flight, and if you're going to fight, you have to minimalize so that the socialist parasites don't take as much money out of you as possible. I wish I had a better answer. I really wish I did. But I would get your CPA so you don't have to work hard. I mean, that's at least one thing. Then don't work too hard making too much money. Get self-employed so you can write off a whole bunch of tax deductions that you normally couldn't as a regular wage slave. These are things you're going to have to look forward to. And for God's sake, really contemplate and think about whether you want to have children. I know you're programmed to. I know you want to. I know it's a fine thing. It's the world's greatest gift. Not if you are living under a Trudeauian government and unemployment is 16% and you can't put food on the table. So it just I'm sorry. I apologize, but that's the drawback of living in democracy. You get to play by the rules of idiots. That's it. So I wish I had a more direct silver bullet answer. I don't. Toodles.